moving on to Rahu and Ketu. At the end of last year, they switched signs from Aries Libra axis to the Pisces Virgo axis. And there's going to be an eclipse happening April 8th in Revati Nakshatra, as well as October 14th in Hasta Nakshatra.
Right.
What do you think the significance of this is?
Okay, so first Pisces and Virgo. Okay, now Pisces is seas, the oceans, right? So there will be problems in transportation across the oceans. That's where most of our goods still are transported over the oceans on Earth. Okay, so there'll be problems in that. Okay, and Virgo is the markets, all of that, financial markets and all of this trade and all of this thing. Okay, so both things are going to get affected negatively. Okay, here. And since the eclipse is in Revati, which is movement of goods, okay, and the safety of it, the safety of the movement will be jeopardized. So, and accordingly, Hasta, the stock markets and all those things, the markets basically will have an effect. So you can see major fluctuations in the markets, the financial markets, okay, on Earth, Chiêm saying. So that's,
Does this have to do with BRICS that's being rolled in?
That is part of it, but there are other things happening, like whether the trade routes are not going to be that secure once all these conflicts start.
Oh, okay.
Right. And then everybody has to change where they get things from and where can't, and if you have to go longer routes, then the prices increase of the goods and everything, everything, transportation is everything. It can affect everything on Earth, basically. Like modern world is based on transportation and a seamless transportation of goods from one part of the world to the other. Okay. And when that gets affected, that affects everything. Everything means everything, but especially the financial markets and all of that. And that's the economies and all of that. So that's where the whole concentration of this Rahu Ketu is. And obviously natural disasters and stuff can come from water and earth both.
I was going to ask you that, when you were talking about the oceans and the disruption, is this going to be solely man-made disruption, or is this going to be natural weather disruption?
Natural. There's man-made part is the transportation bit, and all of that, but then the natural disasters which have been happening now will take more ground in that way. Like when first earthquake in Japan came in beginning of this year, it was earth thing, but then people were afraid of the tsunami, the ocean coming. So it happened in Virgo land, and then you're fearing the Pisces, so the Virgo Pisces sort of axis was like that. So,
and just to give a quick brief for those of you who are under this kind of illusion that the climate is changing due to cow farts and man-made climate change, Prashant has such an illuminating view, which has to do that the weather is connected. Like, we are fractal beings. So because beings are so out of balance, it's being reflected in the weather.
Yeah, so nature is a force along with divine. So nature and divine are connected forces. And whenever human beings are not being in tune with nature and divine, then things on Earth change, which means change in terms of weather, more natural disasters, famines, all kinds of, or two floods, things are not in balance means like either it rains too much, then it's flood. Doesn't rain enough, it's famine. Okay, so all of that is nothing. Man is not controlling any of that. Okay, there's no that things which are controlling any of this. Is just humans not being in sync with how to live on Earth and how to be on Earth, and a result of that as a whole. So you can do that from your side, but the result is not in human hands. So these things are not in human hands, even though a lot of people will try and say that these are things done by the government or whatever and stuff like that, but it's not. There's no human hand involved in any of these things. So It's just and they are like a warning anyways, first, for humans to change their ways. So accordingly, things happen. As much as humans change their way, as less the destruction would be. As much as they carry on going on that direction, more the destruction would be. So it's just a process, which is in process, and, so it's not a matter of prediction. It's a matter of warning, and then people to change their ways right now, which is in the present, So the change in the present will change the future, basically, of what will happen to humankind on Earth, basically.
And do you see that there's a special kind of spiritual energies that are going to be coming in this year, perhaps through the Pisces Virgo axis or any other major transit?
I mean, that is a spiritual energy only. Warning is a spiritual energy.
Oh.
Right. You have to see it as a spiritual energy, because that's what is creating the change. It's forcing the change. It's making things understood on a practical level, from a spirit level to a practical earthly level. That's where the spiritual energy would be at work via nature.
Beautiful.